to happy number. So we are given number n, and we have to return true if it's happy number and false if it's not. So what's happy number? So we're given n, so we have to square each of the digits, and then the number we're getting, we repeat the same thing. And if we get 1, if it's a happy number, but if we don't get 1, if it's not a happy number. So example 2, it's not a happy number because if you look at the process, so we are at 2, and then we just square each of the digits, and then we get 4. And then after 4, we can see that it repeats. So it goes into a cycle. So what's the logic for this one? Well, we obviously need a method that squares each of the digits. So squaring each of the digits is fairly straightforward. Suppose we have 37. All we need to do is 37 modulus 10. So it's gonna give us the last digit, and then we just square it, and then make 37 divided by 10. So it's gonna give us 3, and then we just square that number. Obviously this one should be in while loop because we have to do until the number itself becomes 0. And how do we know if it's a cycle? Well, we can have hash set that contains the number, and if we see the same number in the hash set, so in this case if we see 4, which will be in the hash set, we just return false. Alright, so that's pretty much it, and let's write down the code for this one. So we obviously need a method. Private, it's going to return integer. What should I call it? Say sum of squares. It's going to take integer n. And here what we need to have is we do need a variable called sum, and we just do while n is greater than 0. We say int say digit equals n modulus 10, and then sum plus equals digit multiplied by digit, and then we say n is n divided by 10, and then we just return sum. And here we do need hash set, so I'm gonna say it's gonna be integer, and I'm gonna say sin, and new hash set, and then it's going to be empty. Alright, and then here we do need a while loop, say while true, say n is equal to sum of squares, and then put n in. So here we have a modified n, so in this case if you put 19 here, this n will be 82, and then we say if n equals 1, we return true, probably need to have brackets here, else if sin that contains n, meaning that if there's a cycle, we just return false, and then at the end of the loop we need to have add n to our sin hash set, and that's it. Okay, let's run the test. It's accepted. Let's submit. Alright, it beats 62% because there's actually a slightly better method. So there's a way we detect the cycle. So here we have to go through each of them one by one. It can be slightly slow because suppose if we have like the 2 pointers, so we start here initially, and then I'm gonna mark it as red, and then essentially we're going to make this one go by 2 and then this one go by 1, and then because if it's a cycle, what's going to happen is at some point it's going to be equal, because suppose we have like all the cycles here, and then that's where the slow one, we usually call it slow and fast, and if there's a fast one here, so fast one goes by 2. So in the next iteration, what's going to happen is slow and then fast value will be the same. What happens if fast is 2 behind? Well, slow will go by 1, fast will go by 2, and then eventually they will point to the same. They will have the same value. And that's pretty much the logic. So instead of using hash set, what we can do is we can have int slow equals n, and then int fast equals n as well. And then we just do do while loop, saying that slow is equal to sum of squares, and then put slow in, and then fast will be sum of squares, but we have another sum of squares. Let's put slow put fast in, and then while slow is not equal to fast, we run our loop, and then we just return. So if they're not, then slow equals 1. Alright, so let's run the test. Okay, it's accepted. Alright, now it gets 100%. Okay, so that's it. Let's have a look at what other people did. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy with the result. That's it.